a lot of claims on people that claim to be fundraising specialists. Mm-hmm. And one of the things I liked about you right out of the gate was I knew this is a woman that knows what she's talking about. And I work with a lot of fundraising people, and I work with a lot of fundraising people that don't understand the numbers. And one thing that stood out to me with you, Linda, is the fact that you really seem to get it. You get the numbers, you run the math, you know the drills, and you know that it's really kind of a math equation at the end of the day, even though you're a relationships expert, right? So can you help us understand the differences between things like a development associate, a director of development, a chief development officer, and how we know when we're talking to these different roles, really what their skill sets are, because not everybody is an expert in all these things.
Absolutely not. You certainly don't start out that way. And I was super lucky and have had some spectacular mentors who taught me about analytics right off the bat. Otherwise, I too would be spinning around out there after 25 years. Really, the differences are when you look at a development coordinator or associate, that's a person who can get the tasks done, right? Okay, they can get the letters out, they can get the data entered, they can take care of the behind the scenes stuff at the events. That's sort of what a development coordinator does. That was my first job. I was a development coordinator. So I totally get that. Many people start there. Usually when we see a great development coordinator, they have good people skills. We start to think, well, if they have good people skills and people like them and they're really good on follow-up and follow-through, maybe they'd be a good development director. And that's a person who can build an annual fundraising plan, right? They can say, how do I manage the grants and the events and major gifts and have a giving club and get the gala done? And they can kind of spin a lot of plates, interact properly with other people, handle board members and big donors, kind of run the program day to day, and then manage usually a few staff. And that's sort of a director of development. You get to the chief level, first you're looking for people with a lot of experience. And we always say, watch for professional, successful experience. Lots of people are in development, but when you look at their resumes, every 18 months, they have a new job. That should be a red flag for you. I mean, people who get in development at a place and get to know the donors and the board, they want to stay. You get the relationship started. It's so much easier to raise money. So if they're jumping around, that's sort of a first red flag for me when it comes to looking for a chief. When you say good chief, they think strategically. That's one of the key things. They're part of the leadership team, usually the CEO's right-hand man or woman. When the CEO is thinking about adding a program, innovating, financial issues where there are gaps, if United Way cuts your funding, a good strategic chief development officer is going to know how you think through that, not just say, oh yeah, we can raise that money, no problem. There's always a problem raising extra money. It's not a problem. You have to figure out a strategy. You can't just say, oh yeah, sure, we can raise $500,000 more, no problem. And when someone says that, I can do it, no problem, that's the first tip off for me that, maybe not. Because, as you said, it's all about the numbers. At the end of the day, you kind of can't hide it when you fail at fundraising.